Hi, and welcome back to Someone Needs to Say It TV. I'm Emily here with Alex, and today we're going to be talking about the follow up on the gay marriage challenge with the Supreme Court. Alex, what ultimately happened?
Basically, nothing. Long story short, all the clickbait and headlines and scare tactics that the headline or the news organizations, people that put out articles, scare tactic articles, were just basically trying to scare everybody into thinking there was some big old event that was about to take place that was going to be a prelude to getting rid of gay marriage. Just typical scare tactic stuff. To begin with, this entire situation, all it was a closed door amongst the justices. There was no court case. That
was my question. Was there a court case or
no,
anything
there
that
wasn't
happened?
even. There was no court case. There was no lawyers and jurors. There was none of that was happened at all, and that's why we were trying to let people know, because if you read the headlines of many news articles, and if you got on the internet or whatever, they made it sound like there was gay marriage is up for is on the chopping block. It's total lies. It's total scare tactics.
So the media completely blew this out of proportion.
They blew it out of proportion because that's what they do. Just like it's disgusting how bad it's gotten. But all that happened, and we touched on this, it was a closed door meeting between the justices of the Supreme Court, and they came together and they said, hey, look, are we going to take or give the people the opportunity to present their argument? Are we going to hear their argument is what it's called. So what that means is if we allow them to speak, to show us, if we allow them to bring their argument in front of the court, then they would have an actual court case. Then they would actually sit down and they would have lawyers, they would have evidence and an argument and all that stuff, and then they would present that to them, and then at that point the Supreme Court would rule, which is the Supreme Court is the law of the land.
They're the top of the top,
they're
right?
The top. That's the end all be all. So at that point, if they would have said, yes, hey, we think that they have a valid argument, it's in our jurisdiction, they've went through the right channels to get to this point, because you can't just hop through the levels and go straight to the Supreme Court. You have to. There's a process.
That's why it started back in 2015.
Exactly. There's levels to courts. You have your local courts, your state Supreme Courts, your U.S. appeals courts. There's levels to everything. You can't just jump from the bottom to the Supreme Court and say, oh, here I am. It doesn't matter who you are.
Do you think she had a valid argument, though? Kim Davis, the one who brought this whole ordeal.
Before we get to that, though, real quick, I just want to finish one little topic, or one little other snippet from before. The case itself, when they said we're not going to even hear the argument that they were potentially bringing to them, by them saying that, they said, no, we're not going to even hear the argument. We don't find any basis in it. We're not going to hear the argument. So that was the end of it. It was that simple. There was no court case. There was no gavel where they're,
honestly, this is over. No need for media coverage at all.
Nothing came of it.
It really...
There was no court case. There was no final decision. It didn't shift things left. It didn't shift things left or right. It didn't say, oh, gay marriage is now officially legal or gay marriage is outlawed. That wasn't even anything to do with it. But that's what all the headlines made you think.
Why would you think they would do that?
Because it's all about clickbait. It's all about views, how many clicks you can get, how many people you can get to watch your show or click on your article so that they can sell ads to you. So that's why
That's a good point.
Pull up the internet and look at the internet, and what does it tell you? It's all this fantastical excitement headlines that have nothing to do with what is in the actual article.
They glorify,
they just blow everything out of proportion, and then you actually read the article and you're like, wow, hold up. From what the article made it sound like there was
did this to try to divide the Republicans
100%.
and the Democrats more?
Maybe not necessarily
Or does it have
Republicans,
anything to do with the
Democrats.
election?
I think that there's definitely a lot of following when you can divide people, whether it's Republican, Democrats, liberals versus conservatives, blacks versus whites, or there's division is the way, because what do you have? Two separate peoples that view things differently. So any argument that you can put or place purposely by any of these news organizations or people that are trying to purposely cause conflict or friction, bring up an article that's important to either side or both sides, and you're gonna automatically off the top already have plenty of people that are going to be interested in the outcome of that situation.
Well, see, that's
And
why
they're smart about that. They know what they're doing. These guys are not dumb. These TV conglomerates that own all these channels and news organizations and stuff, they know what they're doing. They've been doing this for a long time. They know how to play us. They know what things to say to get people riled up. They know that, hey, if we say this is going to get these people pissed off.
Absolutely.
And it's sad. It's sickening, actually, because instead of us trying to make our country better, they're trying to profiteer off of dividing us, and most of it's a bunch of BS. And honestly, that's why I enjoy having these conversations with you, and hopefully you guys out there enjoy it as well, because don't buy into this crap.
One side leaning or the other side leaning. We're completely in the middle. That's why we do this show, because we want to have a middle perspective.
I just want to tell the truth.
Or just common sense.
Hey, I have a common sense, realistic approach to things in my own personal life, but I'm tired of seeing the bull crap. It's disgusting. They're literally put out crap on everything now. You'll read the article will say one thing and it sounds like, oh my God, the world's ending. And then you read it and it's like, something just absolutely ridiculous that has nothing to do with the world ending. And you're
so why do you think it was so hard to fire her? She was an elected official, correct?
So that's the thing. So the lady that in question, it was in Kentucky, and she was a county clerk.
Yes.
Okay. And so a county clerk, and I believe it's the same way here in Texas also, that's actually an elected official, right? So when you go vote for the president, there's a whole bunch of other people on those lists, and they have, well, not just the president.
That's why it takes so long to get through it, and then you get to
your
the
senators,
president.
You got your, senators, you have your judges, you have sheriffs, you have county clerk. There's positions that, and the position that she held was actually an elected position. So they couldn't just fire her. Yeah. So that really complicated things. And that's honestly why it was got drug out so far. Because the bottom line was this. If you live somewhere and the law says something, that's what it is.
Do you think that
the law where she's at said that gay marriage is okay?
But do you think she had a valid argument with her constitutional right of freedom of religion?
No, I don't. I don't, because this is the thing. What's her job? Her job is to issue marriage licenses.
Right.
That's her job. Does the law say that 2 men or 2 women can get married?
Yes.
That in that state, that's what it says. If it's not her choice or her place to dictate who can get married, even though she doesn't agree with it. I understand she might not like it. But your job is to issue marriage licenses, and what that entails is looking at their documents, verifying everything is correct, and then issuing the marriage license. That's not her place to dictate.
I agree. I know her argument was on behalf of the First Amendment, freedom of religion, and I can see where that would go against her religious belief. However,
I can understand where that bothered her, but her job is to issue marriage licenses, not to choose who can get.
She was in the wrong completely.
No, it's just that simple. You got to put the feelings and emotions aside. The bottom line is, hey, her job is to issue marriage licenses. According to the law, they were allowed to get the marriage license. Yeah. It's not her place to say no just because she doesn't like it or goes against her religion.
Sounds like she had a power trip.
Well, she did. No, clearly she did. And let's call it a spade. How'd it turn out?
Now she owes $100,000 and about $250,000 in attorney fees. And she had to do 6 days in jail, I believe.
I think that means that she was wrong. I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, by no means am I saying that I believe that she was right or wrong. Hey, that's not my decision. But according to the law, she's supposed to verify the information, validate everything, and then give the marriage license to people that come in there to get it.
And
that's her job.
She failed to do that. So.
Hey, you don't just get to swing your power around and say, oh, well, that's against my religion. That's not how it works. Well, do you remember it was a cake making company where it was a gay couple that wanted to get a cake made, and the lady refused because based off of her not wanting to do it for a homosexual couple. And
that's
it was
I
think it was in New Jersey or something like that. Don't quote me.
I think I remember. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, very similar in that time frame that when all that stuff went down, and that kind of think back to the civil rights movement where they said no blacks allowed or no white only water fountains. You know, like, it's crazy. But
my mind.
I wish that we could just stop like, I don't know what the right answer is to fix that stuff. I just wish we would stop talking about it and never bring it up, and hopefully people can forget about it so that we can move past that. I know that I don't know what the right answer is.
Forgetting it to repeat it.
Yeah, and I hear you, but like at the same time, like you don't talk about something and someone never knows about it, like better like your kids. And this, I know I'm kind of reaching here, but I thought a lot about this, honestly. Like, how do we get past this? If we don't bring it up and we don't talk about it, then it never becomes a thing. You know, if a kid never knows that this certain toy exists, then they never know that it even exists.
They never are going to want it.
So they're not ever going to have that thing. I think that...
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
You see what I mean? Like, I'm a totally different topic.
Yeah.
But getting back to where we're at, that was a total rabbit.
I know, we go down...
Yeah, sorry guys. It was totally down a rabbit hole. So with that cake situation, that was her company, and she made a decision that she didn't want to make that cake for that couple. I don't personally think that's right.
Oh, I think she's completely wrong for it.
In that particular situation, I think she has that option because that's her business. If she doesn't want to do that,
should be able to deny business to anybody, right? Isn't that part of the law? Maybe.
I don't. I mean, honestly, it's a very gray area. Well, and especially depending on what state you're at. You can't put like at a restaurant if you put no blacks or no whites or no Mexicans or no whatever. You can't do that. So that lady can't. She not make a cake for them because they're a gay couple.
Well, she's practicing her First Amendment right.
That's what she based it off of.
That is, I hate to say it, but that kind of is a good argument. Is the Constitution, and I don't know. I'm not saying I agree with it. I don't agree with it at all.
I would do it just because I'm not a scumbag, and I just think, man, I don't care
I don't care who people want to love. You can love whoever you want to love. Girl, trans, anybody. Fine. You're not hurting me or affecting me and my family.
Just leave me out of it.
Who you love.
I'm good with
that.
it.
That doesn't affect me.
I wish that
relationship has no impact on my family and what we do. It doesn't.
Yeah, I'm with it. Just leave me out of it, and that's. Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know. I don't have the right answers for you on this one. It's a tough subject. Hopefully, y'all can share some insight with us. Yeah, so we can get some of your guys' thoughts on the deal. But I really don't know. I think that Kim lady was dead wrong.
I think she was too. But I'm argument I can cut it.
But that's her job.
Just me playing devil's advocate here.
I'm not arguing, but like, the job was to issue things, and she didn't do her job
because she felt like she was going against the constitutional right.
But her constitutional right is to be able to practice your own religion, freedom of religion. It doesn't say that you can deny people. It's not
very black and white. It's very it's kind of freedom of religion. It just says freedom of religion.
You're free to practice whatever religion you want, but it doesn't say that you can not do your job just because you think your religion's better than somebody else or is trump somebody else's. I don't know. I think that Kim lady was dead wrong.
I do too.
I think she's dead wrong. The cake thing where they were like didn't want to make the cake for the people because they didn't want to because they were a homosexual couple. I think that's petty. I just think that's petty and come on, man.
No, LGBTQ plus, we are allies. We are on your team. You don't discriminate here. Don't believe in that. But yeah, thinking up on the final outcome of the Supreme Court's decision of the gay marriage and how it was literally nothing and made out to be a whole big deal. We need to do better on that, people. If you guys want to drop some knowledge in the comments, tell us what your thoughts are on it. Right ahead. We always looking for more ideas and engagement with our audience. But yeah, I think on that note, we can, unless you have anything to say.
Well, one quick thing. Hope that you guys don't fall into this bracket, but we got to stop reading these headlines and the clickbait little short snippets that they feed everybody to try to scare everybody and incite amongst the populace, like insane how bad it's getting. Like, I've been doing it for a long time, but like literally putting out articles with titles that have nothing to do with the article itself or are pretty much flat out lies, and it's causing people to think certain things and feel certain ways that you really shouldn't be feeling at all, and really need to get
Well, it's
past
also
this.
giving a misinformation on people like the right and people on the left. Like,
Then they're just making everybody more mad at each other.
Yes, and that's
over
not
some
the
stuff
case.
that's a dead ass lie.
You'd be surprised. We right and the left probably have a lot more in common than you think.
Right. Well, were the articles the Supreme Court gay marriage at stake, or
It was.
what were some
They
of
were
those,
saying gay marriage.
this is the stepping
challenge.
stone to them outlawing gay marriage.
Yeah, taking it
It's
way
insane.
too far.
Like just total bullcrap, man. That was never even part of the situation at all. I mean, stop watching clickbait, inciting violence and emotions. It's we gotta do better. Read the article.
Yeah.
Please read the article, man. You guys, man, we got to do better as a country, and at least read a couple sentences, y'all. Come on.
Well, y'all have a great day, and we will see y'all on our next episode. Tune in.
See ya.